don't work for Disney anymore. Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Brittany if you're new here. And yeah, it's true. I don't work at Disneyland anymore. I have been done for a couple days now. Last week was my last few days at Disney and I quit. It's really weird saying it. I've had time to process it, but it just still doesn't feel real. It feels like I just have a couple days off and I'm gonna go back to work tomorrow, but I'm not. I'm gonna be going to a different job. So let's back it up a little bit. I know that I talked about working at Disney occasionally on this channel, but I never shared too much. And unfortunately, I still can't really tell you guys fully what I did, but I can kind of tell you some things. So back in 2016, actually technically December of 2015, I went to an audition and I didn't fully know what the audition was for. And I figured it was just another Disney audition that I wasn't gonna get because I truly went to so many Disney auditions. I would say 2014 to 2015, I was going to so many Disney auditions. If you didn't know, I grew up dancing, singing, all of that. So really wanted to be in a parade. That was like my dream after I graduated high school. I went to a bunch and never made it. Sometimes I would get kept, but never fully made it to getting hired. So I was feeling super discouraged, and I remember seeing this audition and I almost didn't go. My mom had to talk me into it because I was like, I'm just, I'm gonna get up early, I'm gonna drive all the way over there. It was at like a random dance studio in Orange County. And I was like, I just feel like I'm gonna drive all the way over there for nothing. And I remember going to this audition and I made it past the first round. And I remember texting my mom and being like, this feels different. I've made it past the first round. And like, it wasn't based on dance or anything like that. It was more so based on your improv and like acting skills. So I was like, whoa, this is a big deal for me. And I remember getting kept to like the third, fourth round. I had been there for like hours and texting my mom and being like, I think that maybe I got the job. Like, I don't know what's going on. And ultimately I made it to the end of the audition and they kind of told us we were on like a preliminary hire. Like, we still had to go through training. So that would obviously affect if you really got hired or not. But basically we were hired to be like onboarded to the company and go on to training. I was so excited. I was just so pumped to get to work at Disney. I looked at it as having my foot in the door with the company. It seemed like such a fun job. Went through like a very long training process, and yeah, basically what I first got hired in to do was to be in Cars Land, and that is why I have such an affinity for Cars Land. If you've watched and ever wondered why I love all things Lightning McQueen and Cars. Hired in to pretty much be friends with all of the cars in Cars Land and do the meet and greets, help introduce people to the cars. So a lot of improv and like interaction skills to, have storytelling and all that good stuff. So very quickly became BFFs with Lightning, Mater, Red, and Cruz, and they are still my besties to this day. After that, I went on to do a bunch of other things with the company, all within the entertainment parade department. That's where I had been all 9 years. So I did get the chance to dance in a parade, which was super fun and kind of like a bucket list item for me. Got to check that off. I was a trainer, so got to help train new people. I became a traditions facilitator, which if you've ever worked for Disney at all, your first day with the company is taking a traditions class where you learn all about the company, and it's basically your orientation and your welcome to the company. So I was a facilitator for that. I was a lead for the parade department. I also did scheduling on the side. So I did a bunch of things in the department. I really did love my time there. Of course, there were a couple things that I didn't like because at the end of the day, it is a job, but truly the most fun job I have ever had in my life. I got to go to work every day and talk to kids about cars. What could be better than that? So I really enjoyed it, and I am so sad to say goodbye to it. Truly is the end of an era. I worked there for a little more than 9 years. My 9-year anniversary was in January and it's now April. So we can say almost 9.5 years. Truly just like insane. I hired in when I was 21. I was 20 when I went to the audition, but I had like a couple weeks before I officially got hired. So I was 21 when I got hired in, and I am now 30 and leaving the company, which is just insane. There are so many people that have known me since like pretty much my first day with the company, and I still keep in touch with them or have worked with them up until recent, and they have literally known me for all of my 20s, and it's insane. Like, there's some people that I have known for a third of my life, which is wild. So why am I leaving? I really just felt like I reached all that I could do at least in the parks and with that department. I feel like I have been struggling with obviously being sad of leaving and leaving such a fun job and all of the perks of working at Disney, but also not going where I thought I was gonna go in my career. Definitely thought when I started working at Disney that I was going to not necessarily work at Disney for the rest of my life, but I thought I was gonna work there for a very long time and have like a pretty established career with the company. I got my degree in theater and have always been into singing and dancing and acting and all of that. So definitely thought that I was going to move on and work at like the studios or Imagineering or something like that, which is definitely still possible, and I have to keep reminding myself that. So I feel like when I quit, I was kind of just dealing with this sadness of I'm not moving on the way that I thought I would. Or I also thought that maybe I would be quitting Disney to like go into acting and pursuing that, or maybe pursuing this more full-time. So that was definitely sad and something that I kind of had to work through on my own in these past couple weeks, knowing that I was going to be leaving and going to a new job. But I think that you can be totally at peace with something and happy for the change while also mourning and being sad. Does that make sense? There are just so many things that I am considering signs from the universe that tell me that I am going in the right direction in my life, regardless of what that means maybe a year from now. At least for now, there are things that I am just taking as signs that I am on the right path. Let's talk about what the universe has been trying to tell me. At least I think. Y'all can tell me what you think. So I got to start before I even went in for my interview for this job. I'm taking this as a sign. My boyfriend thinks I'm being dramatic, but you guys can tell me what you think. So I went to the mall and I went to Box Lunch, and obviously I have to go look at all the Cars merch. Found a Lightning McQueen license plate that I have never seen before. They only had one in stock. So what did I do? I bought it. Bought it, and then like the next day or 2 days later was my interview. Crazy timing, right? So I kind of took it as like, that was my goodbye to Disney. Like, that was a sign that I was leaving. It was my last purchase that I was like, I don't know, connected to Cars Land. The interview process was crazy. I had like a phone interview, went in for the interview a couple days later. The next day they offered me the job, and I was like, whoa, this is crazy. This is going so fast. And my boyfriend kept saying like, well, you've been asking for this. This is what you wanted. And I was like, yeah, true. But it just happened so fast. It really came out of the blue and freaked me out a little bit. So when I was going to the interview on the freeway, a truck for the company that I am going to work for was driving next to me. And I looked over and I was like, is that a sign? Is that a sign from the universe that I'm on the right path? I go into the interview. I'm sitting in my car before going in. I'm so nervous. I'm more nervous than I think I've ever been. And I think it's just because I had not done an interview in so long. So I was so nervous. I looked up some manifestations and kind of had to calm myself down and be like, Brittany, get a grip on yourself. It is okay if you don't get this job. Like, you have a job that you can go back to. Yes, you're looking for other opportunities, but it is okay. So calmed myself down. I went in, I felt very, very confident, oddly, and I left feeling like I got the job, which is like a feeling I normally don't have. I feel like I don't usually interview well because I just get so nervous at meeting new people and answering questions about myself. So then I get the job. I'm super sad that there was one aspect of my job that I thought I was not gonna do again. I thought I was never gonna get the chance to interact with the cars again because I just didn't have that coming up on my schedule. Then this like opportunity presented itself that they were gonna be filming some of us talking to the cars. And I was like, this has gotta be another sign from the universe. I'm getting a chance to do this again and for it to be filmed. It didn't exactly work out the way that we thought, but I did get another chance to talk to Lightning and Mater. So that made my day. Then it just started to feel like all of these weird things were coming full circle. Like I came into the department training for my position and I was leaving training, but I was a trainer this time and I was gonna be training new people to come into literally the same position that I trained to come into 9 years ago. Above that, I was gonna be training with my boyfriend. We met at work and we were gonna be training together on my last day, so he was able to walk out with me. Isn't that crazy? I had this very, very weird realization on my last day and I broke down and started crying because I just realized I trained everybody except for one person on the crew, and the one person came in with me and was in my training group. I trained everybody and it was just wild to me that it was like watching my little ducklings and I was leaving them. It was just a sad, weird realization for me. Another weird thing, I think it was the day before my last day, we got Panda Express. I opened up my fortune cookie. My fortune cookie said, "You are exactly where you're supposed to be." What? Unless that meant stay at Disney, you're exactly where you're supposed to be. But I took it like I'm on the right path. I also keep seeing the angel numbers 444. I've been seeing them for like, that's the one that I see the most. And I'm pretty sure that means like you're on the right path. So I guess that all makes sense. Yeah, just a lot of like weird things happened that make me think that I am on the right path and kind of have me like feeling like everything has come full circle with my career at Disney, and just I've come to peace with how I'm leaving things. I don't want to fully share what I am doing, at least just yet, but I can tell you that I am going to be a project specialist for a pretty good and well-known company, and I'm very excited. I'm nervous, I'm scared, I'm sad, I'm feeling all of the things right now. I think that it is definitely a good step for me and would just be such a good experience to get real work experience outside of Disney, because Disney operates so differently than literally anywhere else in the world. Would I ever come back to Disney? Yes, I would. I definitely think if I came back, it would not be in the parks. It would be somewhere up in corporate, or like I said, with the studios or Imagineering of some kind. That is the goal. If I ever come back to Disney, I would definitely want to take my career in that direction. But who knows? Literally, who knows what could happen in even the next 6 months to a year? Like, truly, just who knows where my career could take me. Who knows if this could take off? That would be great. I definitely want to get back into pursuing acting more, so really, who knows? I am very excited for the change of pace because I am going to be getting structure at this job, and for the past 2 years, I would say, I have yearned, guys, I have yearned for some structure and stability in my schedule and just working like a traditional 9 to 5. I know that some people don't find that enjoyable and a lot of people hate their 9 to 5s. I get it. But as somebody that was working different hours every single week, was working overnights, the idea of just clocking in for my 9 to 5 and then going home sounds so good. Also knowing that I'm gonna have the same days off every single week. I'm gonna have my weekends off. I'm gonna be free after 5 to do whatever I want, relax, hang out with my friends, any of that. It just sounds so good. Oh my gosh, not having to like put in vacation for days like Christmas and just like get them off automatically. Amazing. So yeah, I'm really excited, but I am really sad and definitely missing all of my friends. But I am pretty confident that with the relationships that I made at Disney, a lot of the people I met are friends for life, and I truly have met my best friends working for the company, so I am not worried that I'm never gonna see them ever again. I also am still a local and will definitely be going back to Disney. Maybe eventually I'll get a pass, but for right now I still have some leftover tickets that I had as a cast member, so I'm gonna be using that for the time being. And I also still know a lot of people that could get me into the park, so that's good. So for the next couple months or so, know that there will probably not be a lot of Disney content on this channel. I don't really think I ever had too much to begin with. I'm not a Disney channel by any means. A Disney channel. But I do like to post when I go to the parks or get to do fun cast member things, and unfortunately that will not happen anymore. Like I said, I'm still going to be going to the parks, but it's just going to be a little bit more sparse than it used to be. But I think that could be good, because truly when you're working at Disney 5 days a week, the last thing you want to do is come in on your days off. Or at least for me, I started not wanting to go at all, because it's like, it just felt like I was going to work and I just wanted my day off to chill and kind of be like detached from where I work. So really this is probably a good thing, because now I can go and like truly enjoy the parks as a guest. Not gonna get my discounts or anything, so that sucks, but I'll get to go and like be excited to go and like be away from it for a while. So I am excited for that. I also think with these next few weeks, I am going to be settling into the new norm for me. So that is going to be having, like I said, kind of like a 9-to-5 job and having my weekends to myself. So I am not sure how I'm going to like handle that transition. I feel like I'm going to have so much time, but also like no time at all. And it's just going to have to be something that I figure out in the weeks to come. I'm hoping that the structure brings me so much more time to focus on my hobbies outside of work. So like this channel, I can definitely dedicate more time to the channel. Different hobbies that I have, like I said, getting back into acting and all of that. I am hopeful that having this structure will give me the time. But we'll see. I might not post for the next couple weeks, and it's gonna be because I am figuring this transition out. I think that that is everything I wanted to share with you guys. Just wanted to update you because I always update you, and also to have this to look back on when I'm older and to kind of see how I am processing the change and just remember it, because this is like a big life move for me. Big life change, and I don't do well with change, so we'll see how I handle this. But like I said, I will be back making content for you all very soon, and hopefully more active than I have been in the past. So we will see. And who knows, maybe this will take off or my podcast will take off, and then I'll just be on here full time. One can dream. But thank you so much, guys, for watching. If you guys have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments and I will respond to the best of my ability. I am not going to be spilling any Disney secrets. I would like to keep a good standing with the company. So if you're looking for that, you can look somewhere else. But let me know if you guys have any questions. I am definitely down to help you guys out and share what I can. But thank you so much for watching, guys. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't before. There's going to be a lot of fun new content coming to the channel soon. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.